There is a very specific heavy silence that follows the act of giving away too much of yourself. You know the moment. The words leave your mouth carried by a sudden, desperate urge to be understood. You lay your deepest insecurity, your most private shame, or your most tender grief on the table between you and another person. You expect a bridge to form. You expect the relief of shared weight. But instead, you look into their eyes and see a subtle flicker, a hesitation, a pulling away, or worse, a spark of cold calculation. In the quiet car ride home or in the stillness of your room later that night, the regret settles in your chest like lead. You realize you have not built a bridge. You have handed a stranger the keys to your inner vault, and you cannot ask for them back. We are told relentlessly that vulnerability is a virtue. We are told to open up, to speak our truth, to bleed loudly in the public square or in the private living room under the assumption that all listeners are healers. But this is a dangerous modern mythology. This is not a guide on how to become untouchable or how to manipulate others into respecting you. There is no social victory to be won here. Instead, this is an examination of why we surrender our armor to the undeserving and how to reclaim the quiet, solitary sovereignty of your own mind. Why do we do it? Why do we expose our softest tissue to environments we have not properly vetted? The subconscious motive is rarely genuine connection. More often, it is exhaustion. We are tired of carrying the psychological weight of our flaws and our fears. We treat the people around us like a confessional booth, hoping that if we just speak our darkness aloud, the listener will absolve us. We outsource our emotional regulation because we doubt our own capacity to endure it. The ancient Stoics viewed the mind as an inner citadel, a fortress. The philosopher Epictetus taught that while we cannot control the weather, the economy, or the opinions of our neighbors, the gates of our own perception are ours to command. This is the concept of Autarkeia, the self-sufficiency of the soul. To the Stoic, Autarkeia does not mean you do not feel pain. It means your stability is not contingent on someone else validating your pain. When you rush to confess your vulnerabilities to a colleague, a new acquaintance, or an unreliable friend, you are violating your own boundaries. You are dragging the chaos of your internal world into the external realm, begging someone else to organize it for you. You surrender your autarkeia. You strip yourself of independence, tying your peace of mind to a precarious gamble, the hope that the person listening has the empathy to care and the integrity not to use it against you. And that is a gamble you will often lose. We navigate our relationships as if we are constantly standing in a courtroom pleading our case for why we are worthy of love despite our damage. We think that by revealing our cracks, we preemptively protect ourselves from judgment. If I show you I'm broken, you cannot criticize me for failing. But the listener is not a priest sworn to secrecy, nor a judge bound by objective law. They are flawed humans acting entirely out of their own psychological self-interest. When you hand a complex, heavy vulnerability to someone who has not earned the right to hold it, you do not create intimacy. You create burden. Or more dangerously, you create intrigue. You become an object of fascination, a piece of gossip, a tragic story for them to consume. You thought you were sharing a piece of your soul, but to the wrong person, you merely provided entertainment. There is a subtle, darker reason we overshare: the subconscious desire to weaponize our own weakness. In a world that increasingly trades in the currency of trauma, broadcasting your vulnerability is a covert way to secure loyalty. We tell ourselves that if we show them our wounds, they will be morally obligated not to abandon us. We seek pity, mistaking it for compassion. But pity is the quiet cousin of contempt. When someone pities you, they look down upon you. The dynamic shifts. You are no longer equals. You are a patient, and they are the reluctant caretaker. The Stoic rejects pity entirely. recognizing that to seek pity is to declare oneself a helpless victim of fate. By asking for pity, you erode your own dignity. You willingly place yourself beneath the boot of their perception. Consider the inevitability of change. Relationships sour. Friendships dissolve. Lovers become strangers. When the seasons turn and the warmth leaves the dynamic, what happens to the vulnerability you gave them? It does not evaporate. It crystallizes into ammunition. The fear you confessed in a moment of tearful intimacy suddenly becomes the precise coordinate they strike when they want to hurt you. The insecurity you whispered in the dark is now the leverage they hold over your reputation in the daylight. The Stoic principle of the dichotomy of control dictates that we must clearly separate what is ours from what is not. Your past trauma, your fears, and your deepest insecurities belong to you. The moment you place them in the mind of another, they cross the boundary from internal control to external chaos. You have literally armed a potential adversary. You have constructed the very weapon that may one day be used to dismantle your peace. True emotional strength is profoundly quiet. It is not the loud performative resilience we see broadcasted for applause. It is the grim, silent work of processing your own reality. The strong do not repress their pain, they digest it. They sit with the discomfort in the dark. They understand that some burdens are simply not meant to be shared. They do not owe the world a tour of their emotional scars. To stop confiding in the wrong people requires a terrifying acceptance, the acceptance of solitude. You must become willing to be misunderstood. If you keep your counsel, others may call you cold. They may call you distant-guarded or impenetrable. You must let them. You must endure the social friction that comes with withholding yourself. Their demand for your vulnerability is not a command you have to obey. You are not required to bleed simply because they are holding a bucket. The next time the pressure builds in your chest, the next time you feel the frantic, desperate urge to spill your secrets to someone who has not proven their loyalty through time and fire, pause. Swallow the words. Let the silence stretch out uncomfortable and heavy. Feel the weight of your own reality and realize that you are capable of holding it. You will not win an award for this silence. No one will praise you for your stoicism. In fact, people may drift away from you because you no longer provide them with the dramatic fuel they crave. You may find your circle growing smaller, your conversations quieter, your nights more solitary. But within that solitude, there is an absolute, unshakable independence. You will never again lie awake wondering who is guarding your secrets, because the vault remains locked and the key rests firmly in your own hand. Ask yourself, are you seeking a confidant, or are you simply running away from the echo of your own mind?